Okay, I'm going to tell you the future as it looks to us. And the issue is if I tell you the future, then I'm giving you a limited belief. So I was just listening to one lady on Instagram TV talking about manifestation, and she was talking about, with her spiritual business, she was thinking at some point she wanted to be at like $10,000 a month. And then she started thinking, like, I wouldn't mind being a millionaire, but I'm having a hard time with that. But she could kind of get her head around $250,000. And this is the problem with this kind of manifestations. I mean, what she says, okay, you just talk to your future self who's got $10,000 a month, and that person, that version of you, tells you how they got there, and then you just follow that person, and then you get there. But it's a limiting belief. I mean, at one point, the girl, she says, I'm looking in the mirror and I'm doing affirmations looking at myself in the mirror. In other words, I'm saying, no problem me getting $10,000 a month in business. No problem. I've got this. I've got this. Looking in the mirror, looking in the mirror. But it's a limiting belief because you put that number there. You're limited to that. If you're under it, you're like, I didn't get it. If you go over it, you say, what happened? I mean, does that mean, it was a little blip. It went up to 15,000 this month, and next month it's going to go down to 5,000, and averaging out because your mind will play tricks on you. There's an old commercial that has to do with, I think it was Imperial Margarine, and there was a goddess of butter who kept coming around, and the goddess kept saying, it's not nice to fool with Mother Nature. In other words, you should be eating butter and not this wonderful imperial margarine that tastes like butter. What does Mother Nature really have in store for you if you don't try to throw loaded dice? That's what you're doing when you're looking in the mirror and you're affirming, I'm going to do 10,000 a month. You're throwing loaded dice. If you went to Las Vegas and you picked up the dice off the craps table, and you through sleight of hand you threw their dice away, and you had your own loaded dice that were taped to the back of your neck back here, and now you're throwing illegal dice. They're cheating dice, loaded dice. You throw them at Las Vegas. Well, Las Vegas is very good at picking up cheaters. You think people don't try that stuff? The people in Las Vegas, they got cameras and they got experts, and I think that what they do is, if there are people who are really good cheats, in Las Vegas they hire you. If you're a really good cheat, in other words, you've beat the system for a while, then they figure out what you're doing. They know you're good. And they're going to hire you to look for other people who cheat. So it's going to be very difficult for you to throw loaded dice in Las Vegas. And Las Vegas isn't Mother Nature. I mean, Mother Nature is head and shoulders above Las Vegas, but it just shows you how difficult it is to play these games. But I told you it was a limiting belief. I'm going to make $10,000 a month. Somebody else said, well, if you don't set a target, then you're not even going to get anywhere near $10,000 a month. It's not easy to tell you that maybe that's not good for you. What? Less money is good for you? It's not known to you, to your ego mind. It's not known. And the ego is a reputation for horrible history. Do you remember the story of King Midas? King Midas, I don't have enough gold in my treasury, so I don't know, he got some magician to give him the Midas touch. Everything he would touch turned to gold. But the problem was he couldn't touch even human beings without them turning to gold. What good is it to have a Midas touch if you can't have a hug from your daughter or your granddaughter? Because you touch them and they're going to turn to solid gold. That's the story about an ego that doesn't know shit. And that's what you're doing with these kind of games, these affirmation games. You know, looking in the mirror and affirming, I'm going to do $10,000 a month, as your ego doesn't know if that's good for you. It might create some really bad karma. A long time ago, I talked about this kind of karma. If you're putting it out there, you're a doctor, let's say, for example. You know, you went to medical school and you finished and graduated medical school, and now you've got a debt of $300,000. So what are you thinking? I got to get my clinic up and running, and I'm going to have to run a lot of customers, patients, through my business. Because you think in terms of money, and I got to pay off this debt. Plus, I'm a doctor, and I've got to live the lifestyle of a doctor. So I got to have a big house. I got to have all the accoutrements of being a well-off doctor. So I got to have a lot of money, a lot of patience. What does it really mean? It means you're cursing human beings into becoming patients for you as a doctor, right? You need them to come. You're cursing people. You're saying to the universe, I need diseased people to come to my clinic, look at me for treatments, pay me money. What kind of karma is that? Brutally bad karma. You are cursing people to make people sick so that you can make a lot of money as a doctor. That's what you're doing metaphysically. You're cursing people. And it's pretty much the same thing with any kind of money business. If you're selling things, you are playing a karmic game called I need customers. It's karma. You are, in essence, casting a spell. And the spell is, I'm going to get customers to buy my product. And no matter how you look at it, whatever your business is, you are creating karma with unknown people. Some of them maybe you know, but some of them you don't. It doesn't matter if you know them or you don't know them. You are infringing on their being. You are cursing them. You are creating karma with them. Because You are putting it out there that I'm in business, and business is all about profits. Profits, profits, profits. You're putting profits before the welfare of these other people. And you're going to say, oh, come on, in the real world, I mean, I'm selling cars. People need new cars. Why shouldn't they come to me? If you're a doctor, you're going to say, there were sick people before I went to medical school, so they're already out there. I never created these. You don't understand. You don't understand it. You're as dumb as a stump because you're not taught metaphysics. You should be taught metaphysics starting at about kindergarten. And you are. In kindergarten, you're taught to share your toys, to hug the other children, to have a nice nap, to go out and play. You're taught that at kindergarten. Everyone is your friend. You treat them like family. But you get to be an adult, and all that stuff from kindergarten is forgotten about. And you see people as customers. And you say, well, I'm giving you good service, and you're not seeing it metaphysically. It might be hard for you because you just don't understand. But you're casting a spell. And the spell is, I'm going to bring in human beings, and they're going to pay me money, maybe cash, or maybe they're going to be taking out a loan from the bank, putting it on their credit card. But you are telling the universe that's what you want. And the universe, yes, boss. That's what the universe says, or this is also known as the subconscious mind. It doesn't question you. It doesn't give you advice. It doesn't say, maybe that's not a good idea. It just says, yes, boss. You're a genie. You go. And the customers show up. So who are these people that show up as your customers? You have created a karmic contract with these people. Because if they're real people, you have changed their lives by putting out your requirements that they must fulfill. How are you going to pay the karma back? You don't even think about it. All you think about is the money. Do corporations? Yes, corporations also do the same thing. Profits, profits, profits. Money, money, money comes first, the bottom line. So, how does it? Well, it doesn't matter so much because the corporations, they're not beings. Corporations, people say, they're artificial. No, they're not artificial, any more than a country is artificial. So corporations can have karma, and if you are owning a corporation, or you work for a corporation, you are entangled in the karma of the corporation, or a small business. Is it always bad karma? Yes. How do you get around the bad karma of this gift economy? Can you give bad karma to yourself by gifting things to others? Yep. You gifted a 16-year-old. 16-year-old just got their driver's license. You gift them a Ferrari. First thing they do is they get into this fast car and they get in an accident. Bad karma? Sounds like bad karma. So even gift economy is you're interfering with other people. Oh, this sounds like I've got nothing but trouble. Yeah. Nothing but trouble no matter what you do. The only way to avoid karmic interactions is you must let go of controlling outcomes. And you must let go of controlling your body. I've talked about this before. If you are controlling, you're creating karma. So the only answer is to continually let go of the reins of control on your body. And it means you have to let go of the reins of control over your worldly business in this world. Can it be done? It can be done. Does anybody do it? It doesn't matter if other people are doing it. It matters if you are doing it. So your advice is get busy letting go. Don't be attached to your $10,000 a month. What about the gift economy? I'm still going to go with if you are. Let's say you make some pottery. How do you deal with the pottery? Do you immediately pick up the pottery and trundle across the street to your neighbor and say, here? No. What you do is you ask your piece of pottery, where do you want to go? You're going, are you okay? Are you okay? You sound weird. Okay, let's show you how this is done. Okay, imagine that you're 4 years old. You're 4 years old and you've got a plastic horse. When you're 4 years old, can this horse talk? Of course it can. The horse looks at me, I look at the horse, and I say, Mrs. Horse, where would you like to go? She looks at you and she says, I just want to go back to where you found me. I don't want to get too busy. I'm just chilling. So I'm going to put the horse back. You see how easy it is to give a voice to that horse? That's what you do with your piece of pottery. You'll say to the pottery, just do what I did. Just like you're 4 years old, and you follow that. You are consulting with the pottery. Instead of thinking of the pottery as just some clay, consider that pottery has a spirit. Just like that horse has a spirit. It's make-believe, fine, it's make-believe. Go with it. Ask the pottery where it wants to go. A lot of times I don't even ask. I just go over with my hand and I see if my hand wants to grab the hat. And I don't usually use words. I just walk around and see where my hand puts the hat. And that's where the hat goes. When I'm going to go pick out a shirt, I go either to my dresser or my closet, and sometimes the hand will go through a number of different shirts, and then one gets chosen. Who chooses it? It's not me. I seriously don't choose it. Sometimes my spirit guides say, that shirt's a little bit small on you, and offer an opinion. But in the end, this hand decides. It's not even the hand, it's guided by, I don't know what's guided by, but it's not me. If you are intending on let go, and then see what happens. Your expectations are, I have no expectations. I have no fear. That's one thing you can. Why? Well, fear is ego. So I don't fear it, doing any of these things. Just here. In essence, I'm just the silent witness watching the body do what it does.